The time is 11:30 a.m., and you're listening to CFRC 101.9 FM, Queen's Campus and Community Radio. My name is Jeff Hamacher, and coming right up is the fourth episode of Early Music Adventure, featuring live recordings from the Kingston Baroque Consort. As usual, I'm looking forward to telling you all about our next concert, the fourth and final one of the season, entitled Baroque Celebration, which will take place on Friday, March 28th. The program will include two audience favorites from Handel and Bach, but before I share a few more details with you, let's listen to the slow movement from Antonio Vivaldi's Concerto for Bassoon in G minor, which we recorded at our concert in January, featuring soloist Katie Legere. Welcome back to Early Music Adventure on CFRC 101.9 FM. As I mentioned earlier, the final live performance for this season by the Kingston Baroque Consort will present Georg Friedrich Handel's Royal Fireworks Music and Johann Sebastian Bach's Orchestral Suite No. 2. Both pieces are crowd-pleasing masterworks by two titans of the Baroque era, and KBC's ranks will be strengthened by a number of guest artists adding their specialized instrumental talents to the mix. The concert will take place on Friday, March 28th at 5:15 p.m. at St. James Anglican Church, 10 Union Street. Tickets are $25 for adults, $10 for students, and anyone under 17 years of age is admitted free of charge. And now we turn to the focus of today's episode, the burlesque opera The Dragon of Wantley. For any listeners out there who assumed that the term opera could only ever be associated with high art, this example is proof of just how lowbrow the form could get. I'll provide a brief synopsis after we hear the overture from KBC's live performance last October. You're tuned to CFRC 101.9 FM. Welcome back to Early Music Adventure. The story of the Dragon of Wantley first appeared in 1685, and it was adapted in a few different ways over the centuries. However, when librettist Henry Carey and composer John Frederick Lampe seized upon it in 1737, they turned it into something of a three-headed monster, a bawdy tale sure to delight and shock audiences, combined with a double satire of ostentatious operatic conventions and contemporary political life. To the surprise of many, it became a record-setting hit in theatres, enjoying a run of 59 performances at London's Covent Garden. As you might expect, the dragon of the story is a fearsome beast, devouring anyone and anything that it encounters. Terrified villagers living near the dragon's den are desperate to rid themselves of the threat, and so they turn to the man described as a valiant knight, Moore of Moore Hall. The only trouble is that Moore is a drunkard and a lecher who will have to be convinced to engage the dragon in mortal combat by an offer that he might find sufficiently enticing. Now, we'll hear a few more instrumental selections, starting with The Dragon's March. Moore's romantic interests are two villagers, Marjorie and Moxalinda. The latter assumed herself to be Moore's primary mistress, but much to her consternation, the former offers herself up as a human sacrifice to Moore in hopes of persuading him to fight the village's corner and vanquish the fearsome dragon. Moore gallantly accepts both the offer of the sacrifice from Marjorie and the quest to slay the monster. When Moore at last approaches the den of his foe, the dragon expresses utter disbelief that any man would be so foolish as to attack. What the dragon doesn't take into account is that Moore is sporting a bespoke suit of spiked Sheffield armor, and, largely by luck, the valiant knight manages to strike with a powerful kick the only vulnerable location on the beast's entire body, its anus. In the original story, the dragon dies, but in Carey's version, the monster is merely wounded. In any event, the dragon appears to have been chastened by Moore, and knowing that they no longer live in danger, the villagers rejoice with a rousing final chorus. And that's all the time that we have for this episode and this season of Early Music Adventure. Please let me remind you about Kingston Baroque Consort's Baroque Celebration, taking place on Friday, March 28th at 5:15 p.m. at St. James Anglican Church. Further details about all of KBC's activities, including advance ticket sales, can be found at our website, Kingston Baroque Consort, all one word, .ca. We thank CFRC for inviting us to present this show, and we encourage you to keep it tuned to 101.9 FM for more great campus and community radio programming.